The night was cold, rain fell. The streets were empty, save for the occasional flicker of a street lamp casting eerie shadows on the wet pavement. The wind howled through the trees, making the leaves dance in a macabre ballet. It was a night that seemed to whisper secrets, a night that felt alive with unseen terrors. A 6-year-old Michael Myers, dressed as a clown, gripped a butcher knife. His small hands, barely able to hold the heavy blade, trembled with a mix of excitement and something darker. The clown mask he wore hid his innocent face, transforming him into a figure of pure malevolence. The costume, meant for joy and laughter, now twisted into a grotesque parody of childhood. He crossed the threshold of his home, his parents unaware of the horror he would unleash. The house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a trap. Each step he took echoed through the silent halls, a prelude to the chaos that was about to erupt. The warmth of the home did nothing to thaw the coldness in his heart. Officer Frank Hawkins, young and ambitious, responded to the distress call. He had joined the force to make a difference, to protect and serve. Little did he know, this night would test his resolve in ways he could never have imagined. The call had come in as a domestic disturbance, but what he found was far beyond anything he had been trained to handle. The sight that greeted him, a lifeless couple and a silent child, would forever be seared into his memory. The parents lay in a pool of their own blood, their faces frozen in expressions of terror and disbelief. Michael stood nearby, the knife still in his hand, his eyes vacant and unfeeling. It was a scene from a nightmare, one that Hawkins knew he would never be able to forget. Hawkins made a choice that night, one that would haunt him for decades. He decided to take Michael into custody himself, rather than waiting for backup. It was a decision born out of a mix of fear and a desire to protect the community, but as he looked into Michael's eyes, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was making a terrible mistake. Instead of taking Michael Myers directly to the asylum, he drove him past Smith's Grove Sanitarium. The imposing building loomed in the darkness, its windows like empty eyes staring back at him. Hawkins hoped that seeing the place would instill some sense of fear or remorse in the boy, but Michael's expression remained unchanged, his gaze fixed on some distant point only he could see. The look in Michael's eyes, devoid of remorse, filled Hawkins with a chilling premonition. There was something deeply unsettling about the boy's stare, something that spoke of a darkness far beyond his years. It was as if Michael could see into the very soul of those around him, and what he saw only fueled his malevolent intent. Hawkins felt a shiver run down his spine, a sense of dread that he couldn't shake. It was the first sign of the evil that would plague Haddonfield for years to come. The town, with its quiet streets and close-knit community, would never be the same. The events of that night would cast a long shadow, one that would touch the lives of everyone who called Haddonfield home. The name Michael Myers would become synonymous with fear, a legend that would grow with each retelling. Little did he know, his decision would have deadly consequences. The choice to take Michael past the sanitarium, to try and reach the boy within the monster, would haunt Hawkins for the rest of his life. He would replay that night over and over in his mind, wondering if there was something he could have done differently, but the past was unchangeable, and the future held only more darkness. 40 years passed, the hands of time moved relentlessly forward, yet for some, the past remained ever present. The memory of that Halloween night faded for some, becoming a distant, almost forgotten nightmare. But for others, it was a scar that never healed. For Laurie Strode, that night was a shadow that loomed over her every waking moment. The fear etched into her soul, never allowing her to forget. She lived with the trauma, transforming her home into a fortress, preparing for Michael's return. Every lock, every barricade was a testament to her unyielding vigilance. Her paranoia alienated her daughter and granddaughter, creating a rift in their family. The walls she built to keep Michael out also kept her loved ones at a distance. Tommy Doyle, the boy Laurie protected in 1978, bore his own scars. The events of that night left an indelible mark on him, shaping his life in ways he could never escape. Haunted by the events of that night, he became obsessed with Michael Myers, studying his every move, waiting for his return. His life became a quest for understanding, a search for answers that eluded him. News of Michael's escape reached Laurie. Her worst fears were realized. She had trained for this moment, but nothing could truly prepare her for the terror she was about to face. Her warnings to her family, once dismissed as paranoia, now rang with urgency. As night fell on Haddonfield, trick-or-treaters filled the streets, oblivious to the danger lurking in the shadows. Michael Myers, a silent, relentless force, had returned to his childhood home. Laurie's daughter Karen and granddaughter Allison found themselves drawn into Laurie's nightmare. Trapped in Laurie's fortified house, they faced the terrifying reality of Michael's return. The house, once a symbol of Laurie's paranoia, became their only sanctuary. Michael, driven by an insatiable bloodlust, stalked his prey. He moved with unnatural purpose, his iconic mask hiding the face of pure evil. His presence cast a pall over the town, turning a night of celebration into a night of terror. Section 5. The Shape's bloody rampage. Michael's killing spree began. Each victim, chosen at random, met a gruesome end. Haddonfield descended into chaos as the body count rose. The town, once a haven of peace, became a hunting ground for a remorseless killer. Hawkins, now a sheriff, was forced to confront the consequences of his past. He knew the evil that Michael was capable of, and he knew what was at stake. He had made a mistake all those years ago, and he was determined to stop Michael, no matter the cost. Section 6. A town united by terror. Fear and panic gripped Haddonfield. The streets, once filled with the laughter of children, were now empty, save for the occasional police car and the lurking shadow of Michael Myers. The residents, trapped in their homes, listened in terror as the sirens wailed. Amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. The people of Haddonfield, united by fear and a shared history, decided to fight back. They would no longer be victims. They would stand against the darkness that threatened to consume them. Section 7. The price of survival. Inside the Strode house, a desperate battle raged. Laurie, Karen, and Allison fought with a ferocity born of desperation and fear. Years of preparation collided with the raw, primal terror of facing Michael Myers. Each swing of the axe, each blast from the shotgun, was a testament to their will to survive. But Michael was relentless, an unstoppable force of nature, driven by an insatiable bloodlust. Section 8. Evil finds its way home. The final confrontation took place in the basement of the Strode house, the place where it all began. Years of fear, anger, and regret culminated in a bloody showdown between Laurie and Michael. The battle was brutal, a desperate struggle for survival. In the end, it was Laurie who emerged victorious, but not without scars, both physical and emotional. Michael Myers, the embodiment of evil, was finally defeated, his body broken and lifeless. Section 9. The nightmare continues. As dawn broke over Haddonfield, the survivors emerged from the darkness, forever changed by the horrors they had witnessed. The night had been long and filled with terror, but the first light of day brought a fragile sense of hope. The streets, once bustling with life, now lay eerily silent, a stark contrast to the chaos that had ensued just hours before. The survivors, with haunted eyes and weary faces, stepped cautiously into the morning light, each step a testament to their resilience. The town was scarred, but not broken. Buildings stood as silent witnesses to the carnage, their walls bearing the marks of the struggle. Windows shattered, doors hanging off their hinges, and streets littered with debris told the story of a night that would be etched into the town's memory forever. Yet, amidst the destruction, there was a sense of unity, a collective determination to rebuild and move forward. They had faced their fears and emerged, battered but not beaten. The people of Haddonfield had shown incredible courage in the face of unimaginable horror. Their spirits, though shaken, were not broken. They walked through the devastated streets with a newfound resolve, their eyes reflecting the strength that had carried them through the night. Each survivor carried with them a story of bravery, a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure. But in the ashes of that horrific night, a chilling truth remained: some evils never truly die. The remnants of the